It's like going, oh yeah, another celebrity over there on the West Coasters and the elite in the Northeast.
The dramas I wanted to do were not being offered to me because Hollywood was saying, no, you stay in your zone, Matthew McConaughey. You're a rom-com guy.
A star's fortunes can rise and fall as rapidly as the tides in Hollywood are pretty much unpredictable. Matthew McConaughey went through the highs and lows of heartthrob popularity and was abandoned by the industry that worshipped him in romantic comedies. McConaughey won over audiences with his charisma in films like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Failure to Launch, where he played a likable slacker. However, his career took a surprising turn when he decided he wanted out of his typical romantic comedy roles. Let's go into the seedy side of Tinseltown and find out why everyone seemed to forget about Matthew McConaughey once he made the decision to leave the world of romantic comedies. Fans who swooned over Matthew McConaughey in romantic comedies paved the way for his popularity. However, the performer paid a price for his accomplishment. He had trouble breaking out of the mold that was placed on him, which stunted his artistic development. McConaughey, seeking new opportunities, made the decision to move away from formulaic romantic comedies. He didn't realize that by seeking novelty, he'd be shunned and eventually abandoned by the very industry that had previously welcomed him.
But I chose to make the sacrifice, and it was a sacrifice. I didn't get work and didn't work for over 2 years. Hollywood forgot me.
McConaughey discussed his struggles to move away from romantic comedies in an interview with Good Morning America. It seems that the star of all those corny romantic comedies we liked so much had a hard time branching out into other types of films. But really, who could blame him? Who wouldn't want to branch out and test oneself in new contexts? But guess what? Hollywood just couldn't take it. For 20 long months, they did little to pique his interest. That's a long time in show business terms. How dare those high-ups ignore our boy Matthew when he's trying to advance in his acting career? It was a terrible reality for the movie star, who felt ignored and forgotten by the very business that used to adore him. McConaissance, the actor's renaissance, was in full swing, but he couldn't help but think of the apathy he encountered in the industry. When McConaughey defied the industry's strict categorization of him, it seemed like the glamorous world of show business quickly forgot about him. He also had to face the ugly truth of Hollywood's racist practices. In an open interview, he discussed the industry's leftist and secular norms. He boldly demanded an answer to his inquiry of why his morals were stigmatized, while those of other faiths were tolerated with relative ease. Hollywood's gleaming halls were rocked by his revelations, which sparked heated discussions on prejudice.
And my favorite book of the Bible is Matthew 6:22. If thy eye be single, thy whole body will be full of light.
At the height of his struggle with prejudice, McConaughey described an incident that occurred at a star-studded awards ceremony. He was going to accept a prestigious award at a black tie gala when he decided to be all religious and thank God in his acceptance speech. However, here's when the plot thickened. Those present did not all share a similar sense of awe and wonder. Do you really think that? Even some of his fellow celebrities and self-proclaimed friends ignored him. The same folks who used to pray with him over dinner are now behaving superior by not applauding when he gives thanks to God. The eerie stillness reflected the subtle bigotry McConaughey experienced because of his Christian faith. Was he going to get in trouble with Hollywood if he decided to publicly practice his faith? Many in show business were outraged by the rebuff, with some even going so far as to speculate that the actor had been blacklisted by Hollywood's elite because of his convictions. But as the old adage goes, when one door closes, another one opens. Wow, did McConaughey ever knock on the right door? His breakthrough performance came in the 2013 film Dallas Buyers Club. He took on the role of the complex Ron Woodroof, and his performance was truly legendary. This was a game-changing part that allowed him to really show off his acting abilities.
You have tested positive for HIV. Mr. Woodruff, we estimate that you have approximately 30 days.
And then what? You won't believe what happens next. Hollywood finally had to take notice of him. The reviews were unanimous in their praise, and he was ultimately awarded the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role. The feeling of triumph he must have felt when he finally won over the industry that had ignored him before must be hard to fathom. There was drama involved with McConaughey's attempt to recapture his career and reinvent himself in Hollywood. As the actor finally began to get the kind of roles he had been hoping for, speculation about why he had been first rejected by the business grew. Producers and directors who were used to cashing in on McConaughey's heartthrob image reportedly felt betrayed by his choice to separate himself from the rom-com market. It was speculated that they didn't want to take a chance on an actor who didn't conform to the tried-and-true money-making formula of romantic comedies. Rumors began to circulate in the tabloids that McConaughey had been blacklisted by the elites in Hollywood, effectively shutting him out of the industry for nearly 2 years. There was apparently no room on the proverbial casting couch for a former rom-com star who now wanted to make the transition to dramatic acting.
I finally became the one thing that I've always wanted to be.
But McConaughey's talent and will won, and he went on to give a series of critically lauded performances that helped restore his status as one of Hollywood's most admired performers. The McConaissance was more than simply a career high point. It also served as a stark warning to those who dared to reject Hollywood's typecasting system. Numerous brilliant performances that won over both fans and critics helped pave the way to redemption. The depth and range of McConaughey's acting were on full display in films like Mud, Interstellar, and True Detective, which were not present in his earlier romantic comedies. He shed his heartthrob image in order to express his inner artist by losing himself in more nuanced roles. Even while McConaughey enjoyed his newfound fame, the stars of Hollywood had to face their own moment of truth. Fans and critics began to challenge the entertainment industry's tendency to typecast actors and stifle individuality. As a cautionary story, the McConaissance exposed the industry's myopia and propensity to put money before creativity. Even though the actor kept turning in award-worthy performances, there were murmurs of disappointment and squandered opportunities among the studio heads. It became clear that McConaughey's success was more than a comeback. It was a demonstration of the value of genuine artistic expression and the advantages of taking chances. In the middle of his McConaissance, McConaughey himself has been polite about his past difficulties. He candidly admitted that he had changed for the better as a result of the criticism he received in Hollywood, which led him to pursue more challenging parts. He felt more determined and focused as a result of the ordeal. Both his contemporaries and his fans were thrilled by McConaughey's return to Hollywood's A-list. His moving Oscar victory speech was a poignant illustration of the tenacity and willpower that propelled his incredible career. He thanked people who had helped him during his career change, saying that he owed his achievement to them for seeing potential in him when no one else did.
First off, I want to thank God, because that's who I look up to.
Hollywood appeared to be doing some introspection of its own as the McConaissance developed. Discussions regarding the need for more diversity and inclusivity in casting were sparked by McConaughey's story. The actor's transformation demanded Hollywood stop pigeonholing actors and start seeing them as individuals. McConaughey's subsequent years of stellar acting proved that his McConaissance was more than just a brief period of triumph. His commitment to his work and his desire to experiment made him one of the most admired and sought-after actors in Hollywood. However, despite the McConaissance coming to an end, its influence on the film industry lives on. In a field that can be both enticing and punishing, Matthew McConaughey's incredible career serves as a reminder of the power of persistence and authenticity, a tribute to the persevering spirit of an artist who dared to dream beyond the constraints of a rom-com role. Matthew McConaughey's McConaissance will forever be carved in the annals of Hollywood history, and his fans eagerly await his future ventures. And that's it from us today until next time. Thank you for watching.